I told my parents that I want to study in an international school, but they disagreed. Not because of the tuition they need to pay, but that I will lose Chinese culture if I study in the international school. They were totally convinced that the Western culture will turn me into a totally foreigner to them, rather than a Chinese.
Well, I think it's a mistake to think that there is only Eastern culture and Western culture. And if the parents are worried that their child doesn't fit into either of these camps, they have to understand that there is at least a third camp, which is Eastern and Western culture. It's the culture of the international school and the culture of the international person.
I could never get used to the educational system in China. Basically, our grade in one term is determined by the final exam, which means once I mess up, it shows that I didn't do well in this whole term. That's one reason I'd rather to study in the international school. And the other reason is that in China, we have college entrance examination, and its grades decide that what kind of university we can enroll. It just doesn't make sense to me, cause that's like my future is determined by one piece of paper.
Honestly, I wasn't doing well in Chinese local school, but I don't think this allows me to blame for the whole system. I mean the educational system. Indeed, in China, students like me focus more on how to do well in exams, where the international school encourages students to hold activities by themselves. And we have various kinds of assignments, like the presentations, making posters, and even you learn all the new stuff on your own. And then you have to teach the whole class. It's not like in Chinese local school, everything we do is for the test.
I think there's sometimes two different reasons. One of the reasons is that a lot of parents think that it's a good idea for their child to go and study abroad in the future, and it's much easier for them to do that if they're already more familiar with the language, more familiar with the culture, and more familiar with the way of educating people that they will get from the international school. So that's one of the reasons. I think one of the other reasons is parents, they have an idea of the Chinese education system as very competitive, very focused on getting good grades and being top of the class at every class. And I think a lot of parents say they don't like that for their students, for their children. They think that an international education may be a bit more open, a bit more friendly, a bit more creative, a bit more. It will play to the children's particular strengths if their strengths are not simply academic.
Nowadays, more and more parents send their kids to international schools rather than domestic schools because they think their children can better develop their talents in an international school than a domestic school, and they can also learn better English, so that will enable them to gain better career opportunities when they grow up.
There's one more thing I need to mention. In China, when students they don't focus on their studying, their teacher will force them to do that. I mean, sort of force them. But in the international school, the students they have more freedom. That means teacher seldom force them to focus on their studying if the students they don't study, and that leads to a negative effect.
哎呦，妈给下面干！I'm for free。然后就是对于罗总来说，就是他使用我刚好锤你那种程度的，他比例，就是他没用出全力，他大概用了1/3的力。
你别逗我了，像我一模怕过个什么东西？像当年在欧洲的时候，我跟游泳教练大战300回合。他的他呀！你算老几？请问？
The interesting thing about children who are brought up bilingually, they will grow up to be able to speak both languages to the same degree. Now, which language they're better at depends on which language they're more exposed to, or which language interests them. So, if you have a problem where students are not being stretched in Chinese because in their classes they're using more English, then I would suggest that they would also need to be given sources where they can learn the same things in Chinese. So I don't think it's a matter of that they are better at English. I think it's just maybe that they are not exposed to the same things in Chinese that they are exposed to in English. So maybe through extra TV programs or something, they can be given access to these same ideas, same language in Chinese rather than just in English.
因为我们虽然强调中西融合，但实际上学生没有足够的时间去学习中华传统文化的课程，而更多的把时间用在了英文学习上，而且中华课程的课时也不足，所以这从客观上造就了学生不能很好的传承中国传统文化。
I can understand parents' concerns. Something that I think a school could do and could maybe do a bit more of is have student-led activities on those days where they actually try and so if there are particular holidays or festivals coming up or anything like that, then the students would actually lead the way in trying to teach the foreign stuff for the university.
So the school actually has a lot of activities for us to encourage students to learn Chinese cultures. So, for example, last year during the field trip, our Chinese teacher Strawberry held an activity which students recite Chinese poem in the park, and she asked me to shoot a video for that activity.
恰似一江春水向东流，竹外桃花三两枝，春江水暖鸭先知。
醉拍春山西旧乡，天将离恨恼疏狂。
若有人知春去处，唤起归来同住。
The school also holds competitions like calligraphy and painting, which the topic is of course Chinese culture.
Exactly as they would be if they were brought up in a strictly Chinese cultured environment. I mean, they will have access to elements of many different cultures, many different bits of international culture, and they can use this exposure to find what they are really interested in and what really defines them as a person. They won't be the same, but I wouldn't think of it as losing culture. It is more like gaining other culture. So they gain skills which allow them to operate in both the Eastern field and the Western field, and I think that is actually much more valuable than being only able to fit in with Eastern culture or only able to fit in with Western culture. That would be my answer.